Average at Best Cornhole here with a couple hybrid material series from Flux Cornhole. I have Solo and I have Rogue. So Rogue is like the newest addition to their lineup. It was released mid-2025 season. Solo's been around for a little bit. Before I get started and get into the details, I just want to say it's kind of neat when you have two hybrid material bags from the same company that, in my opinion, kind of play and are a little bit built differently from each other, so it makes it a little bit funner when you're throwing both of these sets. Jumping right into the material, so the fast side on both these series is the same material, it's just opposite sides of it, and that's that rave material. Solo has the smooth side, Rogue has the rough side. As far as the slow side, the hybrid materials, Rogue has Viewmont that we're all familiar with, and Solo has the CX Mali that we all know as well. Because of those materials, we're going to discuss the speeds real quick. And Solo, it actually has the speeds listed on the website, and it says that it's a 6.9. I agree with the 9 for the fast side. This CX Mali material, maybe brand new, it's a 6, but I personally think it plays right down at about a 5. And then the Rogue, having that Viewmont, that's probably about a 5.5, and then the fast side is 8, 8.5. Unfortunately, they had no speeds listed for the Rogue series on the website, so I cannot give you what Flux thinks they are. They both have a true medium template. The Rogue here, it does have a medium fullness. Solo, on the other hand, it has more of a medium to thin fullness to it, and that is because of the fill. And speaking of that fill, the Rogue, it has a mixed fill, and it is a super nice mixed fill. You can fill the rounds in there with the flats. Solo, on the other hand, it's primarily all flat fill. I do fill some filler beads in there. In the website, it says that it is just a flat fill, but if you pick the bag up, you can fill something that resembles some sort of a filler bead, and that's probably just there to give the bag a little bit of fullness. And I rushed through that so I can get right into the slide up because I think this is the most important part of the video. And if you're watching the throw videos at all, you can see, I throw these bags and record multiple occasions. And this is all after I get them broken in because I want to throw them on different boards, throw them in different conditions, throw them with different friends so I can get their opinion as well. And I do all that to understand the bag as much as I can and see how it plays in real life so I can try to explain to you how these bags are going to be a little bit different than other series with these common materials. Brings me to a highlight and a low light of them. And the highlight of the Solo, it's his forgiveness. And I think it's going to be a very easy bag to throw because it's forgiving. And it's especially good for someone that throws really hard because I think that this hybrid material is probably the slowest out of the top 3. So you get a forgiving bag that doesn't have a lot of kick, because the hybrid material and the fill, really tames that down. And if you're a hard thrower, it's going to be a good choice for you. The low light of it is that if you were expecting the bag to be a little bit more active, it's not going to be. It's definitely more of a forgiving bag. Highlight on the Rogue, though, is the opposite because it is an active bag. With that mixed fill that's in there and the medium fullness it has, you're going to be able to do whatever you want with this bag. Unfortunately, the low light of that, though, is a lot of times when you hear hybrid carpets, you think it's going to be a super forgiving bag. Well, this bag can kick on you. Good thing is that it's going to be a kick that you're going to be able to play. Once you see it once or twice, you're going to be able to adjust your throw and add that kick into it if you're not throwing the flattest bag. And just like I stated, I really think the Solo is a very forgiving bag, and it's going to be great for someone new or not as experienced. I don't want to claim it's a beginner bag because it's a lot more than a beginner bag. But with that forgiveness and that slower hybrid material, it's going to be an easy bag to throw. Plus, with that flat fill and the little bit of looseness that it has, it's really going to make the bag slide straight once you do get to the board. There's really only one other series that I can think of off the top of my head with this slow side that is as forgiving as this bag is. I did say that the Rogue could potentially kick on you. I'm not at all saying it's not a forgiving bag. It's still a hybrid material bag, so there is going to be some forgiveness there. I just want you to be aware that there might be a little bit of a kick if you don't throw the flattest bag. Each series gets its whole bodiness for different reasons, and the Rogue, it's got that mixed fill, and it's got that hybrid material on it. So it's going to get the or hole bodiness from that. The mixed fill doesn't want to settle, so if you get it close to the hole, chances are it's going to drip down in. The problem with it is being a little bit fuller than what the Solo is. It doesn't get those unexpected grabs. I mean, it's close. It still does. It's just that it's not super, super loose that it's going to snag the hole and go in. Solo, on the other hand, I mean, it still has that hybrid material, so it has hole bodiness from that, but we got flat fill. So unfortunately, that's going to play against that because the flat fill will settle and it's going to decrease the chances of dripping. But it is a little bit looser because since it is primary flat fill, it's not too full, and it could get that unexpected drip from, snagging the hole as you're going by and swing around and then fall down the back. I didn't have any issues collecting with either one of these series. Solo, I mean, it is a little bit slower, so therefore you do have to throw a little bit harder when you want to go get that collect. And I don't know about you, but sometimes when I do that, I try to throw harder, I'm way off my target. But I think that flat fill does collect the best out of mixed fill or round beads because it just seems to grab a little bit better when it's collecting. And I know I said that it's, a little bit looser, but I didn't see, it's like not too loose. I never saw where it bunched up or missed or grabbed an empty corner or something to make you miss that collect. Rogue, on the other hand, I think it gets its collectability from the fullness of it. It does have that mixed fill. I really didn't see too many bounce off. And the good thing about it, since it is an active bag, you can definitely get that cut collect to go into your bag and maybe collect something a little bit off the side, which means that when you're playing, you could try to lay your blocker a little bit more in your opponent's lane, knowing that you could cut this bag, and if you don't get it on the first try, it's full enough that you can just keep bumping it and spin it back around to eventually clean it up at the end. When talking about playability, this is pretty simple. Solo, it's going to be your whole running bag. Rogue, it's definitely going to be your do-it-all bag. Do you want to lay blocks? Do you want to set up a dirty board? Do you want to cut? Do you want to roll? Do you still want to run bags with it? And that's what the Rogue's going to excel in. It really is that do-it-all bag that, all the options you have are there in this series. Solo, I really think this is a great bag for an inexperienced player or a new player or someone that doesn't have the flattest of bags or someone that really can't cut and roll and do all that because of that forgiveness and how easy it is to slide up the board, especially if you're a hard thrower. It is a little bit slower. I kind of compare this hybrid sometimes in my head to like herringbone. It's like just a notch above herringbone as far as speed goes. The good thing is this is hybrid, so that kick is going to be litigated, and you got that flat fill and that little bit of looseness, so that kick is really going to be litigated. I think both series would be great for blind draws or switches as well, because since the Rogue, you can do it all, and it is forgiving enough that if you do get partnered up with someone that, is just a slide shot, put them all in the hole, they're not going to be mad about this bag at all, and especially if you want to be able to cut them and move them, you can. The Solo, I tried moving them, and I'm not going to say that you can't cut them at all. You can definitely make some slight cuts with them because of that hybrid material, and since it is a little bit tackier, there is some movement. There's not as much movement as that you would get with the Rogue, but it's good for the blind draw because if your partner isn't inexperienced, and it needs some help getting a flat bag or, gets a lot of kick on some of their bags, this one's going to be good for them because of that forgiveness. So you get used to throwing it and you understand its limits and how much you can cut it and do some fancy shots while they just run holes with them. Flux Cornhole, they're easy to find. Their website is just fluxcornhole.com, and you can find them on the socials at Flux Cornhole. As far as designs, I picked up one in each. They have a lot of different broadcast or logo designs and many different colors, especially these bright fluorescent ones. But they also have a lot of cool artwork designs as well. Now for the 2025 stamp season, Rogue wasn't available in all those designs like the Solo was. I imagine it's going to be completely different for 2026. As I'm recording this video right now, they don't have their 2026 stamped bags on the website yet, so I really can't tell you that. And that leads me to cost too. I really don't know what the cost is going to be for the 2026 stamp bags, because the minimum did go up. They were at $89.99 for the 2025 bags. Hopefully it doesn't go up much more than that, but it seems like a lot of the lower priced companies are selling right around $95 for a set. Like I teased at the beginning, essentially these were two completely different bags to throw, and I really liked that about them. I got to understand each one a little bit differently, and I had no problem with either one. Solo, a little bit slower, a little bit more forgiving, but less active, so it's going to be better for inexperienced players. Rogue, on the other hand, active bag. You're going to be able to do what you want with this bag, so if you're looking for something more in that line, the Rogue is going to be your option. I just want to end this with, you're going to be average at something. Be average at cornhole.